This video is the correction of the cockpit and nose sections of the F-4 Phantoms that I built a few years ago as part of my USS Enterprise Carrier Air Wing 9 project. First, I want to thank Chuck M., who in the comments of that F-4 video prompted me to confirm what by then I had already feared. Before I show how I corrected the planes, I should explain why I had to. In another comment from my Enterprise video, Aiden's question is spot on topic. If only I had followed my own advice. When trying to build a specific, real, historical subject, the need for good references is obvious. It is very common to rely on reputable model, decal, PE, and aftermarket part manufacturers to provide accurate products and services. Unfortunately, it is not uncommon for them to be incorrect in some way, and through my own laziness on the 96 plane, I fell victim to the uncommon. I bought the Furball Bravo MiG Killers of Vietnam decal set, which included the VF-96-602 plane. So thinking I knew what that plane looked like, I checked it off my references list and moved on to references for the VF-92 plane. I bought the Fox 1 MiG Killer set, which included a later VF-92, the F-4J from the USS Constellation, and the kit provided the 207 and 211 nose numbers. So I focused my GSR video search on one or both of those planes. As it turned out, it had both planes, but there was much more footage and close-ups of the 211 plane. Modelers should know both model kits and decals and their instructions are often wrong. And in their defense, everyone's just doing the best they can with the information they have. But my advice, conduct your own research of the subject and then trust your research. What my actual research found was that the VF-92-211 plane had the mostly radome tan nose and the blackout area goes all the way up to the cockpit glass. So back during my last build when I was painting the nose of the RA-5C Vigilante 101 plane radome tan, I took advantage of the paint in the airbrush cup and also masked and painted the nose of the 211 plane, what I felt at the time was the correct nose paint scheme. Then I masked the glass all the way around the pilot's forward canopy and hand brushed black all the way up to the cockpit glass. When finished, I compared the model photos to the GRS captures, did some more searching and comparison, and determined my nose paint scheme still wasn't correct. Some VF-92s had the modified radome tan with the white section, while others like the 211 plane, or 204 plane, I was finally convinced, had a full radome tan nose. Still others actually had black noses, like the 201 and 202 planes. To finally correct the 211 nose, I masked all the way around the nose cone. I covered the entire forward section of the plane with parafilm M, stretching it tightly and pressing it firmly over the masked area. Then I lightly slid my number 11 blade over the center of the masking tape all the way around and slowly peeled back the parafilm, revealing the entire nose to be painted. I sanded down the ridges left by the old paint scheme and cleaned the entire exposed area with rubbing alcohol on cotton swabs. To guard against overspray, I covered the rest of the plane with paper towel from the parafilm back. Finally, I airbrushed the entire nose radome tan. Not yet fully dry, I peeled back the masking tape to reveal the corrected nose of the VF-92-211 F-4 Phantom. One plane corrected and on the shelf, the even more challenging plane yet to go. The VF-96-602 plane, and at least two others, had the newer paint scheme, basically what the new F-4Js would be sporting the following year. Thinking I knew the 602 nose was white, I didn't even look for the 602 plane on the GRS video. I was so focused on the 211 plane, I didn't even notice the black nose 602 plane sitting right next to it on the deck. Correcting the plane would require the nose and blackout area edges to be repainted, replacing the ejection warning triangles and adding a caution stencil. To address the ejection warning triangles and blackout area edges, I masked the canopy area with parafilm M. With a new number 11 blade, I cut the new black edge under the canopy and cut around the triangles. Then I painted those spots with the original paint FS36440, and just my luck, it came out much lighter than I expected. I applied future floor wax to the painted areas and when dry, laid down the correct ejection warning triangle decals from the spares box over the previous ones. Then I covered those with future as well. Next, I masked the cockpit glass, the correct blackout area edges from the cockpit down to the nose, then all the way around the nose cone. I covered the entire forward section of the plane with parafilm M, then I slid my number 11 blade over the center of the masking tape all the way around. Then I slowly peeled back the parafilm from the entire area to be painted. I sanded down the ridges that the old paint scheme had left, and I cleaned the entire exposed area with rubbing alcohol on cotton swabs. To guard against any overspray, I covered the rest of the plane with paper towel from there back. Finally, I airbrushed a new black color scheme, and when mostly dry, removed the masking tape. After 24 hours, I airbrushed the entire section of the plane with future floor wax. I mixed the same weathering wash I originally used, black chalk shavings and water with a drop of Dawn. To hide the color differences as best I could, I more heavily weathered both sides below the canopy and blended it back onto the fuselage. Then I masked the canopy glass with parafilm. I then gave the entire area a coat of Tester's dull coat and peeled back the canopy mask. I subsequently isolated this image, which again is the actual 602 plane, and I realized I had to add a caution stencil decal below the cockpit door. So I found the appropriate decals in the spares box, and after coating each area with future floor wax, I floated the decals in a drop of water and placed one on each side in the appropriate spot. After a light brushed-on touch of dull coat, the fix was complete to the best of my abilities. Here's the corrected VF96-602 F-4B in front of the actual plane reference photos. So with the two F-4B Phantoms finally correct and complete to my satisfaction, the two planes rejoined their Carrier Air Wing 9 shipmates on the shelf. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned from my mistakes. Thanks for watching. Please see my other model building videos at the Mighty JJK channel. I'll leave you with this sneak preview of things to come.